Coming up on Network Africa. Dozens of migrants, mostly Ethiopians, die after their boat capsizes off the coast of Yemen. African leaders present an African-led initiative to address the escalating crisis in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Plus, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency predicts thundery and rainy weather activities across the nation from Monday to Wednesday. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. Let's begin this week with stories and happenings that made headlines over the weekend.
The government of Ghana has donated 40 tons of cocoa products as humanitarian aid to Palestine in a show of solidarity with its people. In Accra, President John Mahama handed over premium Ghana-made chocolate and other products to the Palestinian ambassador to Ghana, Abdul Fattah Ahmed Khalil al-Satari.
It is symbolic because cocoa is one of Ghana's most treasured natural commodities. It represents a significant source of economic livelihood for millions of Ghanaian farmers and families, and embodies our national values of resilience, warmth, and generosity.
President Mahama also said his country remains firm in support of a negotiated two-state solution to the Palestinian question while urging all parties in the conflict to embrace diplomacy, commit to dialogue, and end the cycle of violence. On Saturday, trials began for 1,500 people who were arrested during protests over a recent fuel price hike in Angola's capital city. The hearings started at Luanda's Dona Ana Joaquina Provincial Court. The trial began early Saturday evening, and some defendants were sentenced to 1 year of effective imprisonment, a decision not accepted by the lawyers. At least 17 detainees were released after being heard by the court. The unrest began last week when taxi drivers launched a 3-day strike. The protest killed 22 people. Over the weekend, Benin marked its 65th anniversary of independence with a military parade in Cotonou. The ceremony featured military personnel as well as equipment participating in the event, while dozens of spectators watched, cheering and filming the parade. According to local media outlets, troops from the Alliance of Sahel states also took part in the event. The Republic of Benin, which is formerly known as Dahomey, gained its full independence from France in 1960.
So our main stories for today: at least 68 migrants have died after a boat with about 157 people on board sank off the coast of Yemen. The Yemen chief for the International Organization for Migration, IOM, says the vessel capsized off Yemen's southern province of Abyan on Sunday. Now, while 12 people have been rescued, dozens more remain unaccounted for. Most of the victims are believed to be Ethiopian nationals. Yemen is a major pathway for migrants from the Horn of Africa traveling to Gulf states in search of work. The IOM estimates that hundreds of people have died or gone missing in shipwrecks in recent months. The IOM previously described the journey from the Horn of Africa, composed of Somalia, Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Eritrea, to Yemen as one of the busiest and most perilous mixed migration routes. For many, the final destination is Saudi Arabia. President of Kenya, William Ruto, and his Zimbabwean counterpart, Emmerson Mnangagwa, have agreed to develop a unified peace initiative, and it's aimed at bringing a lasting peace to Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. This was at a meeting in Nairobi, Kenya. Speaking at the joint EAC SADC Summit, President Ruto says the combined efforts of the new African-led initiative can help bring an end to the mass suffering of the Congolese people. For his part, President Mnangagwa reaffirmed the bloc's commitment to reaching an enduring solution while also thanking the leaders of the African Union. The landmark meeting, co-chaired by leaders of the East African Community and the Southern African Development Community, was convened in response to escalating conflict in Eastern DRC with the aim of unifying regional peace efforts. The summit formally presented the African-led framework endorsed by the African Union. It's a combined initiative made up of the EAC's Nairobi process and SADC's Luanda process.
I would like to seize this opportunity to express the African Union Commission appreciation for our leaders in this region for their tireless efforts for the sake of peace in Eastern DRC. I also welcome our former presidents, members of the Committee of Facilitators, whose wisdom and experience will be of great help during the next stages of the peace process in Eastern DRC.
The purpose of this joint EAC-SADC meeting is to brief the panel of facilitators on their mandate of facilitating inclusive dialogue among the various actors in Eastern DRC with a view to addressing, among other things, the root causes and to restore sustainable peace and stability in Congo. This was born out of the realization by the EAC and SADC leaders that recent escalation in violence in parts of Eastern DRC, including North and South Kivu, have inflicted immense suffering, mass displacement, and triggered concerns about the stability of our region. It was further informed by the recognition that a political solution was the only viable path to resolving the conflict in Eastern DRC. We will be considering proposals on a framework for the merger of these processes, the terms of reference for the facilitators, and the process design for inclusive mediation process in Eastern DRC from our technical teams drawn from EAC, SADC, and AU based on our earlier directives. These documents will guide us on the way forward with respect to formally launching the interventions by our panel of facilitators. We believe that a sustained, coordinated, Africa-led peace process remains the best pathway to a stable and peaceful Eastern DRC.
In a remarkable turnaround, 6 southern African nations have officially been removed from the United Nations list of global hunger hotspots. Once plagued by food insecurity, countries like Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe are now showing signs of real progress driven by smart agriculture, climate adaptation, and strong policy.
Once known for food shortages, parts of the global south are now changing the narrative, thanks to bold reforms in farming, climate action, and local investment. Thierry Vanhu is a farmer from Zimbabwe.
The Food Agriculture Organization, in collaboration with the AFC Bank, helped us so much. Because it also helped us acquire chemicals, fertilizers, and the financial assistance to pay our workers. It also improved in job creation. It also allowed us to sell surplus, which helped us pay school fees for our children, buy other requirements needed at home.
The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization credits a mix of strong policy, data tools, and new farming techniques.
Investment in platforms like the FAO EOSTAT have enabled meteorological forecast, crop assessment, and food security monitoring to be sensitized at a real time. And so adopting this method also help the farmers to have real information and information at a good time so that they can easily plan their planting activities. So together, these policies, technical infrastructure, information system advances have proven to be more efficient and are proven to be more effective when there are when the communities are trained and when the communities are trained to how to use this information, and this has helped to improve the resilience of rural economies, and one which good trends translate into secure harvest, and where farmers, governments, and partners can work together very closely. This has helped to safeguard the regions, the work that is done by the farmers in the region, and this has also helped to improve the effective implementation of the policies adopted by the government.
In Zambia, the government has also increased investment in market access, farming, and climate resilience. In Lusaka, shoppers say it feels like a turning point.
The fact that we're off the list is good news, and I'm just glad we're no longer the country that's recognized as the starving country, because we made it to the list. And some of the positive steps that the country is taking, you could talk about the ZNS initiative, where they engage in state farms in the production of maize, and also education-wise, the topics about agriculture, they've been added to the curricula, and also communities, they are having mini communities where they're teaching each other about agricultural steps that they could take, and yeah, they're learning skills.
But while some nations see relief, others are in crisis. A UN hunger report released last month paints a grim picture for 13 hunger hotspots, including Sudan, South Sudan, Palestine, Mali, and Haiti. In Sudan, where famine was confirmed last year, nearly 25 million people remain at risk due to conflict and displacement. South Sudan faces a deadly mix of flooding and instability, with over 60,000 people already in famine-like conditions.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted thunderstorm and rainy weather activities across the nation from Monday to Wednesday, warning of possible flash floods in some areas. NIMET's weather outlook, released on Sunday in Abuja, emphasized morning thunderstorms on Monday with moderate rains over parts of the northern region. The agency also forecast cloudy skies over the southern region with a chance of light rain in parts of the region, especially during the morning hours. While light rains are expected over parts of some southern states, the agency anticipates the high possibility of flooding occurring during the forecast period. Well, footage you see is from Lagos. Here in Lagos, flash floods recorded in some local government areas. Some of the residents complain that unfinished road works coupled with the heavy rains have intensified the floods. Well, let's take a break now on the program. Still to come. The Nigeria's women basketball team, the Tigress, are back home after clinching their record-breaking 5th consecutive FIBA Women's Afrobasket title in Côte d'Ivoire. Please join us again. Welcome back to the program. A pro-Palestinian group in Nigeria is calling for an end to the crisis in Gaza following 21 months of ongoing Israeli war on the Strip. The Muslim Awareness International, in partnership with a coalition of advocacy groups and humanitarian organizations, recently held a press conference themed End Gaza Genocide Now, calling for an end to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. According to the organizers, the conference is also to amplify the growing calls from around the world demanding an end to Israel's actions in Gaza, lifting of Gaza's siege, and also a call for Palestinian statehood. Israel launched a devastating war in Gaza following Hamas's attack in southern Israel on October 7, 2023, in which about 1,200 people were killed and 251 taken into Gaza as hostages, or more than 60,000 people have been killed as a result of Israel's military campaign in Gaza since October 7, 2023.
Call by the Arab countries for Hamas to lay down their weapons, release all hostages, and end in the rule of the Gaza. It is disheartening that they made an unfortunate call, because doing this is like cowering in the face of oppression. Such a position embodies the aggressor. You are giving the Israeli more power because it embodies the aggression while weakening the oppressed, rather than pressurizing the victims of occupation and genocide to stand down. The Arab League should be channeling its political weight and diplomatic energy towards demanding that Israel immediately halt its relentless onslaught, end Gaza siege, and terminate the decades-long occupation. We say no conditional Palestinian state. The United Kingdom recently made a statement, the announcement, and France, Canada also are making similar statements, and some other European countries of willingness to recognize the state of Palestine as a positive step in the right direction. We encourage other countries of the world to follow suit.
It is a shame on humanity that while we are alive, the devastation ongoing in Gaza will be going on, and people from all over the world will not respond. That is why you are seeing that even in America, people are standing up. In the UK, people are standing all over the world. People are standing up because all of us are human beings. We have conscience, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your tribe. So this is the situation. There are two different issues. Every country in the whole world has their own domestic problems. Just like Nigeria has its own domestic problem. It's not peculiar to Nigeria alone, but we have to address it. We have to also show our concern, our support to alleviate the problems of those suffering in Gaza. You can see what is going on there. Children, 1 month, 2 months, days old, starved to death. Even baby formula, mere baby formula is bad. And the most unfortunate aspect of this thing is that at the Rafah border, you have thousands of trucks of these necessities down there, and the Israeli Zionist occupying forces prevented it. So it's a very, very great shame.
A new U.S. Consul General has taken office in Lagos. A reception was held in his honor at the residence in Lagos, providing opportunity for fellow diplomats, the Nigerian business community, representatives of American fellowships, and the media to get to know him. Our correspondent Amarachi Ubani reports.
It's not often a new U.S. Consul General takes over the American mission in Lagos. Since the departure of former CG Will Stevens in November last year for Washington, D.C., affairs at the consulate have been managed by Acting Consul General Joe Ellen Gorge. The new officer, Rick Swart, arrived in Nigeria on July 16. He now represents the U.S. government across 17 states in southern Nigeria. For nearly 3 weeks, he has been acclimatizing to Lagos. Just before the weekend, he welcomed distinguished guests made up of diplomats, consulate staff, business people, creatives, the media, and friends to his new home, to a reception held in his honor. Not even the rain could stop Mr. Swart expressing his delight at being in Lagos and what he intends to do.
I look forward to traveling through the 17 areas, the 17 states within our consulate area, meeting regular Nigerian people, meeting religious leaders, meeting NGO individuals, and meeting all walks of life for which we share common interests between Nigeria and the United States.
The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Mrs. Abimbola Saluhundein, who says Mr. Swart had already visited the governor. She spoke about the relations between Lagos and the international community.
We believe in diplomatic collaboration so that they know that Lagos is a friendly city, then it attracts a lot of investment into Lagos. Also, we let them know what we're doing. Do you know Lagos has been doing so well? We tell them about also we believe in the rule of law, how there are a lot of opportunities here.
Speaking for the business community, oil mogul Debo Olujimi seems to know the new CG quite well.
He's a very meticulous guy coming from his experience around the major countries like Nigeria, where he's coming from right now, and now here. So I think it's going to be his time as a Consul General will be strategic partnership, for example, very, very critical for commercial services.
Mr. Swart faces the task of smoothing relations between Nigeria and the United States in business, trade, and leisure. Amarachi Ubani, Channel Television News.
Watching the arrival of the 7-time Women's FIBA Afrobasket champions, the Tigress. They arrived Abuja this afternoon from Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, after successfully defending their title for the 5th time in a row. The team arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at 2:30 p.m. to a warm reception by officials of the National Sports Commission, the Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Association of Nigerian Women in Sports and basketball enthusiasts. The Tigress are the first time on the continent to lift a 5th successive time in basketball and have now won it for a record 7 times. And this was the jubilation on Sunday after their triumphant win in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire.
I have no words. I truly have no words. Like, playing for Nigeria has always been my dream, to represent my country in this capacity, to play the game that I love, the gift that God gave me, to be able to do it and inspire people and to be mounted into history. Like, man, I'm just so thankful. I feel so blessed.
Oh, she was mad. We weren't playing like ourselves. We weren't defending. We weren't rebounding. We weren't playing the scout. And so she was very mad. And so we took that as energy and we came out and won.
Well, congratulations to the team. And just before we go, here's our fun fact about the continent today. Did you know that Africa is home to Victoria Falls? That's located on the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe. It's one of the largest and most famous waterfalls in the world. The falls sends an average 38,000 cubic feet of water per second, plummeting 355 feet to the rocks below. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. And that's it on Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.